let's go and show you some of these. So the first one is really, I think it's pretty amazing here. You know, I need some OKRs for digital transformation office. Okay, so I'm just getting started, and I don't know anything about digital transformation, or I just need to make sure that I am very precisely addressing the key results. So this is interesting because it not only gives me the objectives but the key results. So I think it's important to note in all of these that we are still in control and we are still driving, which means that this great content, I still have to make it, consume it, make it relevant to my organization, enhance it, edit it, and then make use of it. But again, in minutes, you will have drafted a set of OKRs where this could have taken hours or even days, depending on the level of knowledge that you have or specificity. So I think it adds great value to have something so quick generated that we can actually make use of. Let's go to the next level and say, okay, what if I want to actually generate key results for an objective? And this is an interesting one because I happen to focus on strategic execution management, and for me, really the concept of causation is really important. So here, I have some other live cases for this that I want to show you in a second, but in a few minutes. But here you can see that I have I've stated the objective. And here I have 10 possible key results that I could be applying. Again, you're in minutes able to complete a strategic execution management component where it would take a long more time to just generate them in a blue sky scenario. So great value to strategic execution, strategic leaders in terms of being able to complete the OKRs. If I take it to the next level, now I have a PMO intake lead. So now I'm in the ideation area, and I have to complete items in order to get them to the next level within the organization. And actually, this one actually is is mislabeled. We're actually now writing to the ideation steering committee. This is a communication scenario, actually. So this is I've asked Sofia GPT to actually write to the ideation steering committee to let them know that we have now the ideation portfolio, or the ideation list. We're not even a portfolio yet. We're selecting ideas, to promoting ideas for our upcoming selection process, and I'm letting them know, hey, this is ready to go now. We have all the completed information, and what I really like about this is that we have key criteria that should be considered. So I would have never have thought, and now I'm actually telling them that through this communication, that what I need to do is have this criteria as consideration in order to make the selection. I was very specific here in my prompt also that I wanted to focus on Horizon 1, Horizon 2 projects for the end of May 2023. So that was also taken into account. So again, this is the part where communication is enhanced, and we anticipate that from here we'll be able to, in short order, within Sofia GPT, be able to press the button and take it to Outlook, and then issue the communication to our steering committee. Let me see if this is, I think this is, no, this is the same one. Yeah, we'll go to, so this is idea selection based on criteria. So now where I'm actually wearing the role where I actually want to derive a scenario based on specific criteria. So I'm going to go through, and I am focusing on sales growth, growing sales, and improving customer success. And I actually have a budget constraint of 3 million. So based on those two criteria, growing sales and my key results, what are the ideas that I should select. So it's interesting here because I also placed a constraint of 3 million, and it, from the analysis of my ideation area within OnePlan, which has ideas with a prioritization score and a preliminary budget, it gave me 13 projects with a total of 1.5 that are addressing growing sales and customer success. And from here you would go through and select them, or note them as a recommended scenario that you can make. Let's go to the next one. We've already gone that one also. So intake lead, select projects on base criteria. Let me see if this is the same one. Yeah, it is. This is a different one. So here I did a different scenario where I said, okay, give me, based on prioritization score and a balanced investment horizon. So what we did in this in ideation, we actually defined investment horizon. So Horizon 1, Horizon 2, Horizon 3. And you can see here that I get a list of projects that have, will balance my investment horizon. And in this case, my 3 million constraint, I get to actually 2.689 million. So again, I use that to limit the number, and it gave me 19 projects with their budget. I've done this prompt slightly differently, and it actually provides you a little bit more data on the grid. So this is all about also how we actually define the prompt, the question that we're asking. Obviously, having good data also in your as part of your, in our case, our ideation area, makes a big difference. Yeah, we've already done this one. Let's go to the next one. Now we're going down to automated data entry by a project manager. So I think there's a ton of value for project managers here to make life simpler. And this is a project, our project detail form. This is a specific project framework to port applications to devices, and you can see here that I have some of the metadata defined for the project. This is an active project, and here I'm going to ask Sofia GPT to define the description, business case, and value statement. So if I have enough information within my plan details, then I don't have to go through the painstaking process of specifically generating a narrative for all three of them. And here I'm being suggested a full description, a business case, and a value statement. And again, it doesn't remove us from reviewing it, editing it, and perfecting it, but still, it's a great start. Something that could have taken, again, hours. I'm now able to make use of it, improve it, enhance it, and then make it part of my my project plan. So here's my description, my business case, and value statement. So the next one, I think it's quite impressive. For organizations that don't have templates, or maybe you have projects that are new projects that don't have templates. Here, we're going to create a new project, and in this case, we're going to actually generate a project schedule from it. Now, OnePlan has the ability to add templates. So, if you happen to have your own templates, as part of an implementation, we typically include templates. But in this case, it's the example of a project that is just a brand new project. We've never done it before. So what's a reasonable template that we can use? And here, again, Sofia GPT is going through, defining the work breakdown structure, defining the resource types, which I could be mapping, by the way. You saw that I actually mapped it. And then it's going through and actually giving me the WBS. Now, from here, I can then make changes to it, insert dependencies, change any of the specific durations that I might want to in order to formalize in my plan. I can further use prompts to evaluate the data within the schedule. So this is the information retrieval part of it, of the use case. So we created the schedule. Now I've asked to rank the task by highest and explain why. I think what I appreciate is the why, because it's actually giving you the rationale behind the risks. And so from a project manager standpoint, you have the ability to use Sofia GPT to enhance your project plan. I happen to like this one because status reports are always tough. So in this case, you might already have a lot of the content because you've been updating your schedule, updating your metrics, your financial plan, your resource plan. But coming up with the actual narrative can be challenging, depending on your writing ability. So in this case, I have our status report form, which is the OnePlan status report form, which actually allows the project manager to submit a status report to an approver, and it's really a subset of the plan details page, but we're still missing the narrative. So here I went ahead and asked Sofia GPT, hey, can you provide a narrative status report for the project? And we're going to go through and then get I could include that status narrative within my fields and then be ready to submit. But you can see that it's going through and generating a narrative from the data that I have within my status report page, which again points to the need to we still need to emphasize data quality, and it doesn't really take away. We still need to go through and make sure that we have everything completed. But you can see here that my status narrative is actually generated from the data that I've actually been completing within my project plan and my project detail page. Okay, on to the next one. We have a few more. Analyze performance metrics and identify areas for improvement. So this is part of the augmented data retrieval, and it kind of crosses over a few of the use cases. But we're looking at strategy here. So we've gone back to strategy to see what we need to improve. So it's going to the metrics and identifying areas for improvement. So for every one of our OKRs where we can actually have improvement, it's providing us where we could actually be making an improvement. As a PMO lead, I think this is where a lot of the value is going to come in, where you can actually identify patterns on the data. And it actually states, opportunities and potential risks can be observed. So this, I think, would fall also, data anomalies. Yeah. So you can see where things aren't connecting from a data structure standpoint, and it's giving you, opportunities for improvement as well as potential risks. From a portfolio management standpoint, providing a summary of portfolio data. These are, as you can see, we're selecting items that are built within Sofia GPT. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to take these categories of prompts, these use cases, and then build them into the tool so that they're readily available, and also have support documentation and learning aids. Here we've actually gone through and also asked for the highest risk projects and an explanation of why they are highest risk. So you can, within the same data set, continue your prompts to do further analysis. But this one is directly within the solution. We get into the cost management side and forecast completion and spending. Here we're within our modeler tool. This is our modeler module within OnePlan that allows you to define scenarios. So we can even apply Sofia GPT within modeler. So here we're going to go and use one of the out-of-the-box prompts, which is which plans allow me to maximize benefits while minimizing cost. And it's going through and responding based on the data for the model that I have built. And I'm going to go further and ask, okay, which project should I cancel? It's actually using, benefits to budget ratio calculation. I could have added a specific formula if I want it to be calculated, but in this case, it actually recommended a benefit to budget ratio to see which ones I should be canceling. And I really appreciate the comment. It says, canceling projects might have other impacts that are not directly visible from the data. Now, within OnePlan, within Modeler, you can actually open what's called a visualizer and also identify dependencies. So, what Sofia GPT is telling you here, that you need to actually take into account dependencies before you actually go and, go ahead and cancel any of these projects. Continuing on now from a budget and plan optimization for a project manager. I'm kind of jumping around in terms of the roles, but I'm really trying to address the specific use cases. So budget and plan optimization, the one that we're working with here is for a specific schedule. And I think this is interesting because it's actually recommending areas where I can actually, optimize duration in order to, make my schedule more achievable. And it's going through and giving me, again, suggested days where that can be removed. So the solution says optimized schedule can reduce duration by 9 days. Total effort remains the same, but the optimized schedule can lower cost by reducing resource time spent on each task. So again, possible solution for optimizing the schedule. And could we have done this ourselves? Absolutely. The time that it would take to come up with a solution, is probably greater than this proposal that we can then evaluate and then commit to the schedule. So for a project manager, very valuable. Yeah, it's the same one. Let's move to the next one. Rank resources by highest risk and explain. Let's see, is this, so now we're going to move to the resource plan. This is a resource management scenario, and we're at an individual plan, but just as valuable for a project manager. And we're going here and getting the specific name resources that are in my resource plan, and showing, which we could see from the grid, the over allocations, and even where we have generic resources that we haven't actually addressed. It actually tells you, lack of attention. So the resource is either over allocated, that's been identified, or we actually haven't identified the named resource. Moving on to providing a resource plan, I found this one to be very helpful. So you have a new project, and you have to come up with a sample resource plan that breaks down hours and months. So it's actually going through and giving a recommendation, a suggestion in terms of the resources that I should use and their allocation over time. And you can see that on a monthly basis, I'm being provided hours by resource type, by generic resource. Now, OnePlan gives you the ability to then identify from the generic resource a named resource that you can actually assign to that work. And depending on the model you're using internally in your organization, if it has to go to a resource manager previously, or you can actually make the direct assignment. You can use this data as a proposal, again, based on the project. And within OnePlan, within our resource planning capability, you can do top-down resource planning, which is really what this scenario is highlighting. So you can, what's called our committed resource plan could be derived from this. Now let's take it to the next level where, again, a resource estimate's a big part of the use case. So can we actually now identify opportunities to reduce waste, increase efficiency, productivity? So Sofia GPT is thinking and will give us a recommendation on how we can do that within this, within our resource plan. And again, we're using the top-down committed resource plan, which you see here. So it's going through and telling me that indicate over allocation and under allocation respectively. In May, we have a developer that's over allocated. It's making recommendations for cross-training employees. That's a common theme in order to be able to use resources accordingly, streamline process, utilize resource leveling, plan for contingencies. So some of them are actual, very, very specific workload allocation issues that it's identifying, but also providing just some general guidelines on how to go about improving and optimizing resources. The question that we get asked a lot, can we actually define, which resources do we need to hire? And we've actually included that prompt out of the box within Sofia GPT, and then we can get a general recommendation in terms of, the over allocation that are shown within a summary resource plan. Further, this one, it can be asked directly, how many resources per role. And it's actually recommending based on the number of hours, the FTEs that might be required by resource. I think this is very, very helpful. It looks like IT business analyst, 2 additional resources, developer 2 to 3. And again, it's using the committed resource plan data. Well, again, to my earlier point, now we really need to focus on making sure that there's very high data integrity and these resource estimates, if we're actually going to be, trying to optimize with Sofia GPT. Financial data, similar type of analysis can be derived here. Insights from financial data. Again, this is one of the ones that we have directly out of the box. What are the key insights or trends can be inferred from this financial data? We go further and ask whether we can have any recommendations, based on those insights and trends, and it's telling us to, reassess personnel costs, review budget allocation for critical phases, investigate. So again, nothing specific, but just general recommendations on how we can go about improving our cost plan. Risk identification, another important area of use case, and it applies across all the different levels of strategic portfolio management. In this case, we've gone and applied it to a project. So what are potential risks for our privacy, our project? And it's actually also giving us mitigation strategies, which are great. So again, as applicable, we can take this content and include it directly within the OnePlan work types, together with any other that our team might have identified.